All the hype, drama and joy that we've had over the past week with the huge announcements for Season 3 and the delivery missions, it's easy to forget that we've still got a lot to unpack in Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown. Of course, we are talking specifically about the latest live weekly events all surrounding these fantastic Ferraris. And it's a hell of a challenge that we have got this week. I've personally took myself to the limit. I've found my limit in the 488 Pista, and I'm going to take a look at that today and why I found it so difficult. First of all, let's talk about the race. 50 Shades of Red, a 4.4 mile very wet sprint, obviously in a Ferrari, with a max RP of 820. And we've seen some fantastic times come up on the leaderboard so far. GR Pacuvius, absolutely no surprise, topping at the leaderboard with 2 minute 42, Asai Yunon right up there with a 244, and Jason 57k with a 245. But interestingly, all in different Ferraris, a 488 Pista, a Scuderia Spider 16M, and an FXXK Evo, so it's good to see a large variety of Ferraris being used, along with the Enzo, the 812 Superfast, and my dismal attempt in the F40 down there, 169th place at 3 minutes 10 seconds. So there's a lot of improvement to be had here. My target is going to be up around that 2 minute 50 mark, around about Vince and Christoph Esteves. That is going to be my target here. I did say coming into this week, Altair, you were my number one target. I wanted to beat Altair down there in 9th place with a 2 minute 53. We've got a lot of ground to make up, around about 20 seconds. Now the F40, it was a dismal attempt, so we're going to come back, not in the F40, but in the 488 Pista for the 50 Shades of Red race. Still feel it's going to be challenging, still don't have a good tune for this one. I've spent a lot of time, but I just don't have a good balance for the Pista as of yet, but many of you guys have got a good tune out of this so far. I need to spend a bit more time into the first few corners here, diving into it. We can see the car is getting a bit unstable, but we can start to have some fun here. We've got a lot of kinks, a lot of kickbacks on the mountain section here, left hand hairpins, right hand hairpins. We can have a bit of fun with these ones because drifting around these, it does seem to be the quickest way. Played about with this, coming down the hill in 4th, 5th, 6th gear to minimise any traction loss like we did with that Shelby, but also coming into it very leery, very bold, letting the back end of the Pista drift round on us. I actually think I've found more time just flying into these corners, spinning up the back wheels on that very wet road surface. It's not the wettest it's going to get, but it's still a wet road surface. I have found this to be my fastest way of getting around it. If you guys have got another method, let me know in the comments section. But as we come off that fun mountain section, we start to get a little bit more serious. We want to be a bit more clinical and clean with the driving we've got here, through the little chicane we had just there, into another wider chicane right here, left hand around the big sweeping right hander, unfortunately overcommitting, not coming off the throttle quick enough, smashing into a barrier. And you do lose time hitting that barrier, so we can say again we're not being as clean as we do need to be. We are losing time, do need to clean it up, but I do feel it's all down to the way I've got this car built. Into the trickiest braking section right here, and again something out of Tony Hawk. We had a huge wall ride there, but not a wall ride like many people are doing in this game. Thought it was quite cool to leave into the video how far up that wall we did manage to get in the Pista. Yeah, that was quite an interesting one. It's not a typical wall ride where we actually make any time. I don't actually think it made any difference at all. Taking out our mandatory lamppost. If you've been a viewer of the channel, we always take out a lamppost in a race, guys. It's not that I want to, it just seems to happen. It's like I'm a magnet attracted to the metal of the lamppost. Nice flying section here. Do come in a little bit cautious. I think he can carry a lot more time through that section. I think for me the fear is how wet this road surface is. I'm maybe just a little bit fearful that we lose a lot of traction. Now at this point I have got turbo upgrades fitted to the 488 Pista, and we can see coming out of some of these corners it feels like it's just too much boost. Obviously the surface is wet, obviously we've got the standard road tyres fitted, and the back end of this Pista just wants to kick round on us under a lot of load, under a lot of boost. Maybe we need to make a change there. Maybe that is where the issue lies with this car, that we're trying to be too aggressive. As soon as we try to get the power down, the back end of the Pista just wants to step out. This big flying section here, we know the goal, we know the target. Take out those railings. We don't need to use the brakes at this point. Don't take out the railings that much, you're going to lose too much time, but want to get straight through those railings and push forward to that finish line. See what kind of time you set in the first attempt for today in the Pista, and we do manage to make a good improvement all the way up to 16th place from 169th, a massive step forward with a 2-minute 57.32. Surrounded once again with 812 Superfast, Pistas, FXXKs, but we're still missing the target here. We're still missing that 2-minute 50 time, another 7 seconds still to make up here, and I do feel it is down to the way the car is built and the tune that is applied. Now, whether we need to take the turbo off, change the gearbox, or completely revamp the tune, we're going to go away, we're going to repackage it, and see what we can come back with in the 488 Pista and target that 2-minute 50 time. Now, coming back into this one, like I mentioned, stripping this thing back, I have went away and I have taken all turbo upgrades off, but this time out I've actually tuned the gearbox, and I feel getting through that gearbox quicker is going to be the method forward, reducing the power back a bit. I think that's going to be how I'm going to handle this track a lot better. Once again, coming into the mountain crossing section here, going to let it be lively, going to let the back end step out, drift around these corners. We're still carrying 30-40 miles per hour around them. It does feel for me to be the quickest way going around this little mountain section, but secondly, it's just a lot of fun. It is fun drifting a 488 Pista down a mountain section. It has actually been a bag of fun, maybe overcommitting to that one, but I actually carried quite a fair bit of time around that left hand hairpin, right hand hairpin, sorry, into this left hand hairpin again, roughly about 40 miles an hour. It does feel like we're carrying enough speed into it. Last right hand hairpin just there, again we came out of it relatively unscathed, felt like a bit of a good mountain section that time out. Once again getting serious as we start to pick the pace up here into the first chicane right here. We do manage to carry a lot of speed in and carry a lot of speed out of it. That feels so far to be the best attempt of the hairpin. We do manage to avoid that inside railing this time out, so a better entry into that big left hand hairpin just there. Now we can get the foot to the floor, power down a relative straight we've got here. This is where we're probably going to have the most speed on the track of this race. Enter a heavy braking zone, batter down that gearbox, using the gearbox to slow the car down, staying off that big wall on the left hand side. We already know right at this point in the race we are making up a lot of time so far. In through the little city section here, getting prepared for that right hander again. I do feel like I could carry a little bit more time, but being cautious due to the amount of rain that is sitting on the road surface. Push forward once again into the right hander. We are far more committed this time out, maybe a bit too committed. Mandatory lamppost, check, that one's taken off for this race right here. Into another very tricky right hander. We carry enough speed there, that's alright. We've got one very tricky right hander coming up once again. There is a little crest in the middle of this corner, brake before it, or we do end up smashing into the left hand wall. As we do come downhill off the little slip road here, we've got that hairpin kink right here. Don't make the best attempt. We miss first gear, we drop down into neutral, devastating. We have probably lost another second or so just there. Missing first gear, dropping down to neutral, that's horrible. We've actually had a fairly solid race so far. We've got a little bit of time to make up, guys. Power down, foot to the floor, push all the way up. Another very fast section here. This is where this tune may start to hurt us. Taking off the turbo upgrades, we're not going to get up to speed as quickly as we can, but as we do smash through those railings once again, making a far better attempt of it this time out, around that very horrible last left-hand corner where we can see the back end is stepping out, push downhill, cross over that finish line one last time. Have we managed to improve? Of course we have, but unfortunately we only make it into the top 10. This isn't for the want of trying. I had a lot of attempts at this one, guys. I could not get faster than 2 minutes and 54. Altair, you win this time out. I could not get that time. I genuinely spent a good little bit of time doing this race. I couldn't improve on 2:54, so I do miss my goal of 2 minutes 50. What you guys have done to get that 2:42, 2:44, 2:45, take my hat off to you. That is a solid race. It genuinely made me reach my limits in the 488 Pista. I could not improve on 2:54, but making it into the top 10, I will take that for that race. I didn't overly enjoy it. I didn't enjoy the race. I just didn't overly enjoy the fact I couldn't improve, in all honesty. Yet again, another good series that we have had from the live weekly events. I say it time and time again, and I will continue to say it. I do believe that, for now, is the heart and soul of Test Drive Unlimited, but of course the delivery missions are coming soon. That video right up here somewhere, go and check that one out, diving into all things that has now been unpacked from season 3. a little bit of a content leak from Alex 7. You gotta love to see it, guys. Before you leave today, as always, do smash up that like button, subscribe, tap on the bell, all the usual good stuff. Stay tuned for more updates from Test Drive Unlimited. Solar Crown.